Hello everyone and welcome to another video. It's good to be back, and since I'm back I wanna continue where I left off and show off more indie comics from my comic book collection. I mentioned in my last video that James Tynion IV Something is Killing the Children is the hottest thing in comic books and has been for a couple of years in my opinion. Well, this time with Department of Truth, they kind of tried to catch the genie in the bottle for a second time. And while Something is Killing the Children has every new start of a storyline get so many variant covers, and there's so much hype around every single issue there. With this, it's kind of weird because there are a lot of variant covers for what looks like every single issue. It doesn't matter if it's important or not. There are a lot of comic book stores ordering special exclusive variant covers. So there's that on one hand, but on the other hand, there's no one actually talking about this series. It seems like to me I don't see anyone getting excited like, hey, look, another issue of Department of Truth is out, we should get it. And again, looking at the variant covers for it and seeing so much manufactured hype, you'd think that, hey, this gets people riled up, but actually, again, I don't see it. I don't see any attention brought to it other than by the comic book shops themselves ordering and trying to get variant covers to sell for a higher price than needed. And it's a shame because the story is pretty good. It's definitely not as good as Something is Killing the Children, and I think that's where the problem actually lies. This is a very slow burn, and every time it gets going, it suddenly stops for that arc, and we get a couple of two issues intermissions, and it breaks the flow, and you can't really go on with a series like this. I'm gonna show you the first 15 issues because that's what I got. I think the series is at issue 18 by now. I actually stopped because again, this will definitely read better in collected trades, and I definitely want to buy a oversized collection of this because say what you will about the story, but the art is absolutely amazing. It's incredible. This series is worth it by far just for the art alone. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But until we get there, I'm going to show you, as I said, the first 15 issues here. And of course, we're starting off with a Jenny Friesen variant cover, absolutely superb and really speaks of the whole vibe of the story. And with this lady here, the lady in red, I'm not gonna spoil it, of course, but there's a line in this issue where she goes, "Did you see? It's important that you see," and that's like the whole tagline for the series. And again, an amazing cover. Jenny Friesen, as always, doing a great job. And actually, all these covers are amazing. I decided to go for the B covers for every issue, since the main ones are very one note. I mean, you can lose yourself in how much of the same thing there are. Those are, but the B covers here are definitely something special, and again, they go so well with the whole series. A very special, a very weird series from the concept itself, that being, what is if conspiracy theories were real or actually became real the more that people believed in them. So again, the story goes from there, and it gets into some interesting territory, and it could go even further than that. But again, it always seems to stop and break. It seems to break up the whole flow of the story. Here we have issue 6, and just as I said previously, you look at these drawings here. For every issue, each variant cover is so weird, so special. I mean, look at this. How can you explain this? If the cover is meant to sell the book, they're definitely doing that with the Department of Truth here. I mean, you have to check it out just out of curiosity. You see this and you go, why is this bloodied up lady in that chair? And of course, sometimes you find out in the issue. Most of the times you don't. Because that's the problem with variant covers. But again, at least they give us some amazing art. Here's a callback to an actual real world event that took place, and again, just the colors and everything used in these variant covers. One of my favorite series in my collection when it comes to the actual covers. Again, I had my problems with the story, but the covers just amazing, and they just don't stop. Each one not better than the last, but keeping that high quality every time. Issue 14 here, and finally ending up with issue 15. Exactly what I was saying, another intermission that breaks up the story. I do need to read the last issues here, and maybe then I'll decide if I want to go back and continue the series. I won't have to continue anything when it comes to The Devil's Red Bride because it's finished. This was a 5-issue miniseries published by Vault Comics, and I just had to get it because the premise seemed really interesting. Here we have a lady samurai killing all sorts of things and filling the pages with blood. How can you say no to that? And again, the covers here just top-notch quality. I do want to review most of the series I'm showing here, and The Devil's Red Bride is definitely on top of that list. Again, just looking at these amazing covers, you kind of get a feel for the story, and it's exactly that. There's no lying in this. It's a really cool series. Showing off some of the characters of the story. Again, and the tone and atmosphere being portrayed so well with these covers. Okay, returning to James Tynion IV, following up his Something is Killing the Children's success, we have The House of Slaughter. And while I did love his previous series, this was definitely not a hit for me. I did not like this like at all. I pre-ordered the first 3 issues because of the schedule and all of that, but I immediately, as soon as I could actually read it, I stopped it because no, I'm waiting for the new arcs in Something is Killing the Children. I think we just got issue 21, but this one is a definite miss for me. Again, the covers are great, but the story not so much. Now we have 3 issues of The Picture of Everything Else, and this was supposed to be a 5-issue miniseries. It came out more than a year ago, and it still hasn't ended. The first 3 issues came out with a 1 month delay of each other, but then it just got pulverized. I don't know what it is happening with this, but I do hope they can finish it up. I know I've read the first 2 issues, but I don't remember anything, and at this point I just hope they get to wrap up the story. Again, I don't remember anything, but it by the covers it it looks really interesting, and this is what actually drew me to the series. But it could be the best thing in the world. I think it really needs an ending. And here we have issue 3, again missing issues 4 and 5, hoping we'll get those soon. Here we have Chip Zdarsky's Stillwater, a 12-issue series, and this is the Department of Truth all over again, except without the amazing art inside, although this is still very good. But I bought it again for the covers because look at it, it's got that vibe and it sets the tone of the story so well. And I started reading it and I did enjoy it. It's a very slow build up, but the problem is that it kind of goes nowhere. I haven't finished it up, so maybe I'll get proven wrong in the end. But what I've read, it was so slow. I did enjoy it, but it was so slow, and at times it felt like it was just dragging along. I'm sure this will read better in a collected edition. Not really waiting for that oversight bundle as I do with the Department of Truth here, but again, the story just dragged itself off so long. It started off great. I mean, the first issue just has so much going on for it, but then it's so slow. And definitely not a strong recommend. I would say you check out the first issues, get a feel for it, but we'll see. I do plan on making a review for it as well. Again, this was a 12 issues series, and I think it's actually going to continue. I don't know if the new issue is out or has just been solicited, but it's definitely Chip Zdarsky definitely has more to say about this story. And again, the covers really interesting. I mean, how can you say no to something like this? But the story, Issue 11, representing those Chuck Taylors. And a very strong end here with issue 12. Again, I haven't read the ending. I still need to catch up on this, but I'm just talking about the cover itself. Just look at this. Next up we have Serial by Terry Moore, and if you know Terry Moore and what kind of comics he puts out, this is exactly that. This is a great series. It's got 10 issues. I'm missing, I think, issue 8. We'll see when we get there. But it was a great ride. Nothing spectacular, but everything you'd expect you get from this series. And especially, you get some amazing covers. Again, everything written and drawn by Terry Moore. No colors here, just high quality stuff. Again, if you know his other work, this is that. Some creepiness shown up here. And again, really nice drawings. Great stuff. Published by Abstract Studio. I mentioned I am missing an issue here. I actually am curious to see which one, if it's 7 or 8. Here we have issue 6 and issue 7. Okay, so I'm definitely missing issue 8. There we go, yeah. Issue 9. And just by the covers, I think we can kind of get a feel for the story, right? The idea of what's going on, especially here. This is kind of a spoiler. And issue 10 marked as a final issue. Again, Serial by Terry Moore, a higher recommendation. And I couldn't talk about indie comics without showing off Todd McFarlane's Spawn. As he praises it, the longest running creator-owned comic book series, I think. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty positive that's the whole shtick with it, and it is definitely deserved, but also weird. First of all, it's definitely weird to call it an indie comic. I guess it technically is, but it's still, I mean, and then when I hear about creator-owned series, I think of series that are drawn or written by the same people, like continuously. And Todd has definitely taken some breaks with it. Of course, with over 300 issues, you can't keep it up, but well, I guess Eric Larson does it, and but again, great admiration for Todd McFarlane and what he's done. I'm gonna show issues 311 through 325, and I wanna talk about something because, well, no, first of all, let's talk about this cover for 311 in memory of Chadwick Boseman. And I don't watch the Marvel movies, so I have no horse in that race. It was definitely a tragedy what happened to Boseman, but man, did this cover get a ton of controversy when it was released, and I think that kind of sums up everything you want to know about the series. And Todd McFarlane. Again, he's a businessman, he's a seller. He sold a bunch of these covers. A lot of people hated it, some loved it. At the end of the day, he wanted to sell more Spawn. He sold more Spawn. So there's that. But again, I'm going to go through this, and I do want to mention that I do appreciate Todd McFarlane for a lot of the things he's done and what he is. So, a little story. I started collecting comic books at the end of 2019, and I really enjoyed it at first. There was so much stuff to catch up on, and so much stuff to get into. And then the stuff happened at the beginning of 2020, and the whole comic book industry, a lot of things got put on hold, and it affected everyone. But the way the comic book industry handled it, with Marvel issuing a pencils down rule, I couldn't believe it. I mean, what kind of leader does this? It was crazy to me to see them just stop everything. I get that the distribution was impacted, but actually stopping working on comic books, I couldn't believe it. It actually almost made me give up on this newly at the time acquired hobby. And then Todd McFarlane showed up, and he started making the rounds on YouTube, and he started doing interviews with everyone who would listen to him. And he talked about comic books, and he talked about how important they are, and how we shouldn't give up on them, how they're still going to survive this. And obviously they did. But the fact that he came out and actually wanted to reassure his readers, his fans, and every fan of comic books that we'll pull through this. This isn't the end. Really made me appreciate him and admire his sense. Of course, there was a sense of business behind all of this, but it was his passion for it. I mean, I didn't see anyone at Marvel coming out or DC coming out and going, "Oh no, we're fine." Their response was, "We're stopping everything. We don't care." And I don't know. That's definitely not the right call. So after seeing all those interviews and just hearing Todd McFarlane speak, I mean, it's such a joy. You talk about motivational speaking. The guy gets you pumped up. Every subject. I mean, he's gonna get you riled up on it. And after hearing all those interviews, seeing him again going around YouTube, every single creator, big or small, there was Todd McFarlane talking to them. And it actually made me get into his series. Of course, I've known Spawn forever. Since I was a kid, I loved the MTV series. Actually loved the movie back then. Different times, I mean, right now it might seem stupid. And it's definitely stupid. But back then, as a kid, come on. Of course, you'd love that. But so I've definitely known Spawn. And I know I've read some of the older issues, but never really got into the series until this time I gave it a shot. It's not great. Of course I'm gonna do a video about this. Probably I'm gonna title it probably trying to love something that's not good. Because that's exactly it. It's not good, but still it's an effort, and the fact that it it keeps going, man. I mean, and right now the resurgence of the series, we've got so many mini series coming out. It's crazy. Todd's really out there, and you can't not appreciate it. More so when you look at these covers, he might take a few breaks from writing. He definitely doesn't do the art, but his covers, man, really great stuff. Issue 324 and the final issue 325. And I wanted to end this video on Todd McFarlane and Spawn, but I actually have one more series and the biggest recommendation, and that is J.H. Williams's Echolands. I'm not gonna talk about the story, but I do want to tell you, to plead with you actually, to go on and get this series. The first story arc ended with issue 6, and I don't know how you could get it. Right now it's only available in single issues, but do yourself a favor and get it. From the start, you notice the page layout completely different from everything we have, and that's the art inside. Just as the page layout, the art is like nothing we currently have. Again, I'm not gonna mention the story, you don't need to worry about that. Just get it as an art book and look at each and every page. This is amazing. Just look at the covers. You don't need me to tell you what you can currently see right now on screen. Everything regarding the art of this series is superb. Just breathtaking and something that needs to be seen by everyone. If you're going to take anything out of this video, remember that you should go on and buy Echolands by J.H. Williams. That was it for this video. As I've mentioned at the start, it's great to be back after a rather long absence. I do hope you've enjoyed my Elden Ring little videos that I've posted. In the meantime, I've been playing a lot of that game. I do want to thank everyone that's stuck around. I want to thank everyone that's participated in my Batman giveaway. Apologies if the ending for that wasn't all that great. As I've mentioned in my comments, I did put the draw on my Instagram and picked a winner there. I did get in contact with him and have already sent the omnibus and one shot. I do want to plan another giveaway. Don't know about the subject yet, but please do look forward to that, and do look forward to a lot of reviews based on all these series that I've shown of indie comics and of course of the big two. Until next time, bye.